building this green Russian version of the Big Muff, and we need to measure a bunch of transistors. That's the green Russian circuit board.
Well, it's actually the Mud Bunny circuit board, and we'll build it as the green Russian. Right? So there's the circuit board.
Okay.
So the problem here is it requires some I mean, on the parts list they show a 2N5088 transistor as the transistor, and I actually have one of those somewhere in here. There's one in a little bag, but I need 4. Yeah, so this is the one right here. It's I have it marked 2N5088. So I need some transistors. I think there's a lot of controversy over the transistors in the Big Muff, but I think the transistors really don't make too much of a difference as long as you get, transistors that have, that are in the ballpark for the right, qualities, right? Which for us, it's gain, right? So I'm thinking if we get some transistors that have the right gain. I got this little device here, this Multifunction Tester TC1. I got this on eBay for $17. This was like the best buy. You can charge it with a USB. And if you put a part in here, it's hard to read, but there's little slots here where you can put the leads of a part in, and they're numbered 1, 2, 3. The 3 is impossible to read because it's in yellow ink. But as long as the legs of the part go into a different numbered slot, when you press the start button, it analyzes the part and tells you what kind of part you have. So you can use it to measure diodes, resistors, capacitors, transistors, and probably some other parts, I don't know. But I'm going to try it here. So if I take this 2N5088 transistor here and I put it in slots 1, 2, and 3, and then I hit the start button, you can see the screen after a moment analyzes the part, and it says, it's a BJT NPN transistor with a gain of 435, right?
And it tells you which leg of the transistor is which is the emitter, collector, and
the base. Yeah, actually, cool. That's super useful. Okay, so anyway, so this thing is dynamite for $17, right? So anyway, so if we need a transistor, we need 4 transistors that are roughly gain of 430 or 450, something like that, right? So I got one here, but then I have a whole pile of other transistors. So let's put that one aside, and we can test a few of these, right? These are kind of I can't even read the number on that one, right? But maybe I'll clip one of these off of this thing here and give this a test, right? Oh, 430. Wow, so that's really good. I think that these 2N5088s have a better noise, noise, I don't know what you'd call it, measurement or something, right, than some of these other transistors. Are kind of just better quality. But you know what? We're making a distortion box, so you're right.
It'll be noisy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be noisy. Oh, look, that one's 430. So actually, these look like they might be in the ballpark. I'll just put some over here that we might want to use.
So you can mix and match them.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, and maybe that'll give our Big Muff some mojo.
It'll have the most mojo.
Yeah. So we'll use this thing again and make sure that we get the emitter, base, and collector correct. Oh, this one's only about 300 gain, so maybe this is not a good choice here. Maybe not quite enough gain. Though some versions of the Big Muff use lower gain transistors, and people really like them. So that's a possibility too. I'm going to put this guy aside over here. We're not going to use that one. What about this right here? These transistors, this one's labeled BC547, I think. And these are, like all the American part numbers are 2N, right? And then the British part numbers all start like BC. Well, not all, but generally, right? So that's an NPN 495. So this is actually kind of a higher gain. So this might be good. And the transistors will vary too. So some in the bag might have more or less gain. We're just kind of getting in the ballpark. So these guys could be good. Maybe I'll even label the bag here just to make sure. Gain of like 500. right?
You wouldn't want to mix and match high and low value transistors, would you?
Yeah, you might. You know, I mean, if you really wanted to experiment with the Big Muff, you'd want to put some sockets in place where the transistors go, and then you could pull the transistors out. The thing about it, though, is the other parts, like the emitter resistor and the collector resistor, affect the gain on the transistor, too. So you might want to, like with different transistors, you might want to adjust the emitter and collector resistor, right? And you can see that's what actually kind of, I think, what happened on different versions of the Big Muff. Let's try this bag here and see what we got. These are like 214. This is pretty low. Maybe these guys are not good. Though for some reason I wrote 400 on the bag here, so maybe some of these had higher gain than others, right? But we'll put this guy aside. These 5089 are actually very similar to the 5088. So I think they have a higher gain though.
By one.
No, by like 300 or something. Let's see, let's give this a test here. I think these are pretty much interchangeable though with the 5088s. You know, I don't believe me on everything though. I'm not a engineer. So let's see, let's test this one out here. Yeah, see this one's like 800. You know, so maybe if we want to make a super high gain Big Muff, maybe I'll put this aside, right? Let's see here. I only have one in this bag, so maybe that's not a good choice, right? Because we need 4. Oh, you know what? There's 4 in this bag here. I think these are. I think I got these though for this version of the fuzz face. So I'm gonna save those. Maybe we'll save those for the fuzz face thing. These say 280. You know, so maybe we'll put that aside. Let's see what else we got here. This one says like 200. These say like 500, which seems like that's maybe in our ballpark. Let's test one, right? Yeah, anytime I buy these transistors, they're pretty cheap. They're like, you know, maybe 10 cents each or something. So, you know, I always buy like 10 or 20, right? So I always have it. And then in a circuit, you use like 2 to 4 of them. And then I always have some left over, right? Oh, 500, so that's not too bad, right? That's kind of in the ballpark. So these could be good. So we'll put that over here. What else do we got? This says like 600 and something. I think we'll leave that out. What about these guys? I got a whole bunch of these. Let's try these, right? I like these little metal caps right here because they look kind of cool. Like, you know, these would look totally mojo-rific in the box, right?
Yeah, I like the circuit board to look cool, even if it's going to be inside the box.
Yeah, it's got to look cool. Let's see here. 543. So that's pretty good. Maybe it's a little on the high side, but maybe I'll throw these over here to, what's this guy? Let's test this one here. I don't know what these are. Oh, that's a PNP, so we can't use that one, and it's only 250 gain, so this can't be used, right? It's got to be NPN, right? So we'll put that away.
And then what is PNP? Pointing not out?
Oh, NPN is not pointing in.
Oh, right.
It's like the diagram for the let's try one of these. These are like the bog standard 2N3904. I got some of these that I marked as low gain because they were good for making woolly mammoths. Like you want kind of a lower gain transistor for that circuit, supposedly. So I kind of measured them. I got another bag here with like a bunch of these, right? Like I got like 50. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, 320, so that's actually pretty good. Almost in the ballpark, right? So this would be good maybe for like the lower gain style Big Muff, right? But anyway, so there we go. I think that's our range of transistors there, right? And then here's the multifunction tester. This thing is great.
What else can it test? It says it's multifunction.
Oh, you can test LEDs. Let me see if I got an LED here. Oh yeah, here's one, right? So here's a little Oh no, that's actually a lamp with a little, yeah, here's an LED, right? So I got an LED here. As long as you put the two legs in different sockets, it doesn't matter. So I'll put the LED in here, leg in a number 1 and a number 2 over here. And then if I turn it on, you'll see the light flash for a second as it runs something through the circuit. And you'll see it gives me diode. It's got a forward voltage of 1.95 volts. And leg number 1 is the positive leg, right? And then leg number 2 is the negative leg, right?
That's really useful. Like if you accidentally clipped your legs at different or at the same height and you couldn't tell which one was which,
yeah,
that'd be a useful
tool
to have.
It's super useful, yeah. Right here, we'll test this too. So this is a diode. I'm like, what kind of diode is this? Is it a Zener diode or not, right? I don't know. So I'll test it. And it says, oh, it looks like it's, I don't know, some kind of regular silicon diode, I guess, with a forward voltage of 775 millivolts, right? What else do we got? You can test capacitors, right? So here's a capacitor here. So the trick is you just got to make sure the legs go into a slot with a different number. There we go. So this is a capacitor with 20 microfarads, right? Let's see, I wonder what it says. Yeah, it says 21.64 microfarads. And if I look at the thing here, it says, yeah, it says 22 microfarads on it. So it's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
What else do we got? You can test resistors. Oh, here's a resistor. I'm like, what's the value? You should be able to read the value by the color, but I can never remember the color. So we'll test this one out. Oh, 47K, right?
Cool.
This thing is so useful, right? Here we got another capacitor here. I'm like, what's the value? Actually, this one just says it right on it, but you know, but if you wanted to be sure, right, or if you wanted to measure it and get a more accurate number, because
or if your eyes aren't good.
Yeah, but the parts, like sometimes they're oops, wait, maybe this leg is not in there quite right. Let's make sure we get it in there. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. So it's 102 nanofarads, right? So anyway, yeah, this thing was pretty good. It was pretty good for $17. Like I'm happy with my purchase.